Hey everybody! Welcome to another episode of Who's That Anime with your hosts Steve and Colin. We're here again with the magical light in the back of Steve's camera. He's turning it on and off from far away.
You can hear it.
Probably
The clicking. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry about that, folks. I'm sitting clicking the light on and off. Whoops.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's currently off.
It is off now. I'll just leave it off. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay. He's leaving it off. Exciting times. Yeah, we're back with a new series, new season.
We are. Where were we last? Gosh. Our recording schedule is now so all over the place. I forget where we were previously in this show. But we did our bonus episode, right?
Yeah, that was Read or Die.
Holy shit, was that really the last main episode we did?
Yeah, and before that was Pluto.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we've been behind bit recording.
That was like a month, just nearly a month ago.
I mean, for us recording it, yeah.
Yeah.
But not for you, the listener / viewer.
No, that is true.
For
you, it's been like nothing has changed.
Nothing has happened. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. We've definitely got our shit together for recording this year, but my God, has it confused our minds about where we exist in two different times at the same time.
Running two shows at the same time is confusing.
Yeah, and also you'll definitely, for the video portion of these, please don't pay any attention to the clothes we're wearing because it definitely doesn't show you when we've been recording in the same night.
No, doesn't.
No, nothing like that at all ever happens.
I feel like I just need to make sure I wear the same T-shirt and hoodie for the rest of the year now.
Okay, I will randomly change mid-episode sometimes. No, I don't know if that's a good thing.
You've done that once.
Have I?
Yeah. There was. Oh, when was that? That was last year or sometime, I think. We were doing a video, and the video, your PC crashed or your internet went down.
Oh, that was Cowboy Bebop, the movie.
Yeah, and then also we had to record another day, and then you changed your clothes by then.
That's right.
I assume you did.
Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about that. Damn, that's the only time we've had like a very significant recording issue.
Yeah, I mean, other than the time when we tried to do our first in-person recording.
And it just completely failed and we didn't do it.
Yeah. They used this one mic at yours.
Yep, that's right.
That was your name, I think.
It was. That was just after you'd moved.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
But as you said, we're here with a new series. We're into season 15 of this podcast now.
Oh. It's all journeys, Steve. It's all journeys.
Oh my God. Tell us what we're doing, Colin.
We're going to be watching Kino No Tabi?
Yeah. I think it's Kino's Journey. Is that the...
Yeah. The Beautiful World. Kino's Journey, The Beautiful World.
And we should state as well, the original Kino's Journey, The Beautiful World, the 2003 release, not the 2017, 2018 version.
Yeah. Here's something I was looking up about it. You know the director.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to try and pronounce the name because it's all over the place.
Fair.
It's like Ryu or something. Ryu Noriko or something. Got things in it. Anyway, he was a director for some of the episodes of Serial Experiments Lane.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That does track. You and I have had very limited conversations since watching these episodes. But I think the word I would use to describe this show is bleak. It's very bleak.
I mean,
Like all of it. It
yeah.
doesn't fill me with any sense of wonder or joy. Mostly sadness.
I mean, yeah, I can understand that. Well, I mean, so the first episode,
Well, episode 0.
yeah, yeah, the OAV, I think it was, because obviously it wasn't. I think it was released after,
Yeah,
right? What's it called? The Tower Country or something?
it is the Tower Country. I think most like some of them. It seems I don't know if it's like the episode names, but from the look of it, they all have some reference to the something country, because obviously, like Kino, who is the young the young boy,
Traveler,
young
girl,
traveler, young boy, young girl.
girl.
Okay, fair enough. I
Uh,
like because everyone has like female and male voices are so interchangeable with younger characters. I never really questioned it, but yeah, the young traveler Kino and her motorcycle,
Hermes.
the talking motor. So this is like some Herbie situation.
Oh, well, it's called Hermes, so it's
Yeah,
not far
it's
off,
very
right?
close,
Yeah.
very close. I'm assuming it's named after like some sort of Greek mythology though, or the fact that there are Hermes bikes.
Oh, maybe it's the only bike that I know you can meet. And I haven't decided if it actually talks or it's just her voice.
I think Kino's unwell. Like I agree. There's like some very worrying undertones in this show about this poor Kino's mental health, because I don't think the motorcycle can talk. I think Kino's just kind of lonely.
Yeah,
Um,
um,
yeah.
I can. I've watched this before, and I have an idea where she came from.
God.
Um, but yeah, so
This was your suggestion as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a good conversational topic because I feel that it's a weird anime with metaphors for life and journeys and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely tracking that way so far.
Yeah,
Uh it's just a sad life. Or
unfortunately, yeah.
a sad world.
uh
Um
This
yeah,
is
like
probably
cuz
the happiest one.
oh boy. And this is also bleak as fuck. Like
Yeah.
it's all real sad. But yeah, you're as you mentioned, this is the OAV, the OVA, the Tower Country, and we see Kino and Hermes riding into a city with this huge tower reaching up into the sky. This totally reminded me. There's I don't know if you're familiar, or I'm sure I've probably referenced this before in another episode, but there's a Clive Barker series of books called The Books of Blood.
Oh yeah. Okay.
uh, One of them has a story about a tower being built to the heavens, and
Yeah.
like what it's like to go up the difference, like so tall that like going up it is like you may not do that in your lifetime.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, not quite the same, but the same kind of, oh, well, actually maybe the same kind of thing. I don't know. It did. There's a few overtones of that,
Yeah.
like talking about like the commitment to this tower.
Yeah.
So
So, as far as I can think, this guy got like wee cutscenes about voices. This kind of reminds me of, I suppose, of Shadow of the Colossus type feel to it with
I
the text.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I never played Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, I only played
I
it for a
probably
wee bit.
I probably should though. I
Yeah.
understand it's very good. So
Did you ever play Ico? Your Ico?
yeah, I played Ico.
Did
In
you
fact, I
play?
also played a little bit of Last Guardian. So I've
Yeah.
played either side of it. I just haven't
Eh,
played Shadow of the Colossus, because
yeah.
they did a remaster, right, on PS4.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, I got the original. It still kind of holds up. It's pretty technical sound. If you got like an upscaler or not, it upscales pretty well. And
Well, I was watching a very good video about a guy who customized his own PS2 shell and like modded it all up and stuff like that. It was really cool.
uh huh.
So he did like a full HDMI mod, and like he had his whole library of games that he had, and like ripped them and put them onto the like a hard drive, and it was
I,
very, very cool.
yeah. Oh man, that is a thing to do. Anyway, so let's actually get
Yeah,
into talking about the anime. I mean,
yeah.
10 minutes in, that's not bad. This is quite quick for us.
I feel we've covered like the original scenario here.
Mhm.
We've talked about where the characters are. We should also mention this is a like a 14-minute episode. This is not a long episode.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. This is a short one. So
and it was 2.5 years after the very first episode.
yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, so it basically starts off. Kino's in camping out in the forest, looking at the stars, and her bike's talking to her. And I think, did she have a dream? Uh, and they were like, "Oh, we're nearly there at this tower. Let's go to the tower." And they travel up to the tower, the country, and go in through the other exit
Hmm.
entrance, the visitors, travelers entrance, because the other entrance is for trucks, it seems. And the
Yes.
Hermes like, "Oh, why are you going this way? Oh, this is the way we go." And then they're wandering, driving along, looking at the tower, go, "Ooh, that's a big tower. Wonder where it looks like it stretches up to the heavens." And then there's this bit where they're kind of driving along, and there's like a bunch of kids building a tower on the pavement
Yeah.
or sidewalk, and they're building it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's standing, it's still standing, it's great." And then Kyo's just going around asking people, "So why you build the tower? Where?"
Why do you do this? Please explain yourselves. This seems
And
like lunacy.
yeah, and the guy goes, "I don't have a clue. I make the bricks."
I just make the bricks. I just do the thing. I'm just a cog in the machine. Let me do my job.
Yeah, pretty much. And then she's like, "Oh, they don't really get many travelers because there's no inns in this country."
Yeah, she mentions that a couple of times. She's like, "Yeah, there's no hotels.
Yeah,
That's weird."
yeah. And there's a shadowy figure starting to follow her about. So she finds like a stable somewhere and holds up there. And then shadowy figure kind of creaks open the door and then because he thought she was asleep, so he goes in, and then she's not. She's ready and prepared and got a gun pointed at her. And then he begs for his life and says, I'm only here because I want to be a traveller like you because don't you think this country's weird?"
I mean, it is weird.
Yeah, something like that. And then she was like, all right, okay, I'll let you live, but you got to answer me this question. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I just stacked the bricks. And then the visit into the tower. And then essentially Hermes basically says, oh, I think it's reaching its limit. We probably should get out of here. And then they leave the tower. And then the tower collapses. With everyone looking at it going, oh, no, it's collapsing. Ah! And then it finally
I, I
collapses.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Colin. I, for a brief period, was like, "Holy shit!" Kino and Hermes are basically like death, just turning up and things just go wrong. I'm like, is that what this show is? Is this show Kino turning up and then things just turning south immediately? And then, and of course, you like say everyone's like, "Oh my god, oh no!" And then they're like, the old guy's like, "Oh, I'm so happy. The tower fell in my lifetime. This is the greatest." And you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
that's not the response I thought."
Yeah, yeah, everyone is super excited that it fell down. And then the guy. So the other thing is they've been building the tower for over 200 years, I believe. Was mentioned by someone. So the guy that basically tried to steal Hermes from her or do something in the
Yeah,
stable comes back and goes, "See, isn't it weird? We just build the towers and then they fall down and then we build again."
And
and
it's never any different. They don't
yeah,
even like make them colorful or have writing on them, and someone's like, "What? This voice is something about making them colorful or having writing on them. That sounds amazing."
uh,
Everyone's like super into it.
yeah, that was Kino because he basically asked Kino, "Don't you think it's weird?" And she's like, I got no
Oh,
opinion."
that's right.
And then she's like, "How about you put color and engravings on it?" And the kid is just like, "What?" And then they're all like super excited, and someone calls, "We're designing the new tower. Come on, new tower planning is happening right
Come
now."
and tell them your ideas
Yeah,
quickly. You know
yeah,
about the color and the inscriptions.
yeah. You do all that, and then she leaves, and then it cuts something about because there's it's kind of like did Lane do that? Would it have like writing on it?
Yeah, there were a lot of scenes in Lane where it would cut to silence or ambient noise with just writing,
Yeah,
or like it would maybe have maybe the narration that would overrun the scene.
yeah,
It was interesting. Like I think like because that's basically the end of the episode, right? Is that that's
yeah.
it?
It cuts to this text, and then after the text is you see that they're now starting to build a tower with engravings on it,
Yeah,
and
it's
that's it.
like the look and vibe of this show is like immaculate. It
Yeah,
just it screams excellently produced,
mhm.
but there's something really off about all of it. It
Yeah,
just feels grim.
yeah. It probably is. It's based off a manga. Oh no,
Yeah,
not a
it's a,
manga.
a light novel.
A light novel. They're calling it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Which is apparently still running today, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's cool. I didn't know
Uh.
that.
Well, according to the Wikipedia, it says till present on it.
Yeah, I might read it.
Yeah.
But as I said to you, it's like everything just feels really bleak. Everything
Mhm.
is very sullen and
Mhm.
sad, and I feel like a lot of Hino's mannerisms are. It feels like from a place of just complete apathy and nihilism.
Mm.
Like, was like, oh, please take me with you and let me escape this place so I don't have to build towers forever. And she's like, I can't help you with the impossible.
Yeah.
I can't do that for you. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, you could just have said no, but it was
Yeah.
it was like, no, that's impossible.
I want to travel with Hermes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, just it's like I have to tell you and double down on this. No, I won't be traveling with you. I
Mhm.
only travel with the bike
Yeah.
that you may or may not be able to hear talking.
Yeah.
Uh, and on top of that, you leaving this place is likely impossible.
Yeah. Oh,
So
it's
there's a lot of very, uh, like I say, sort of very negatively loaded language. It just seems very sullen and sad.
yeah.
Even maybe when it's not trying to be,
Well, I suppose yeah. Yeah, it was
but it comes across as like Kino being very detached, emotionally, like very unavailable. Um,
mhm.
and I don't know if that's that there's like if we'll ever find out more about that or whatever, but definitely the read I'm getting. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she is. She's pretty like detached from the world because she's just looking at it all, traveling around the world, seeing all the sights, but there is like, nope, that's cool. I better go.
yeah, it's like yeah, yeah. Well, we'll find out more about her rules in the next episode. But I guess like we
Yeah.
we usually rate these. So
Yeah.
where do you where do you stand on this?
Um, I think it's a good 7 out of anime. It's like it has, in my mind, it has like an interesting take. Like I say, I think it's weird metaphors for life, like maybe that you're a cog in a machine and doomed to fail or something. It's this one.
That's the thing is I think there's I think there's almost like another message in it where you have a boy who believes his place isn't there because he doesn't understand. He doesn't. He feels that that future is limited.
Yeah,
Um, and like I don't know whether it's a good lesson or not, but it's almost like because then it's the idea is like, oh, you know, this boy has ideas about changing things and making it different. That's really cool. We should do that. And it's like, oh, but you know, maybe you could belong here. It sounds like there's, you know, they don't have everything doesn't have to be the same, but the focus is the same.
yeah,
So it's like you can belong, but you need to belong with that purpose in mind. So I don't know if like that's a good lesson to learn or not, but
yeah,
it seems like it's maybe more positive than no, you leaving this place. No, no, that's not gonna happen. But I guess Kino was right because I guess that kid's not. So
yeah. Oh, well, she didn't let him. She said that. I think she does say like you had to do it yourself,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because he couldn't do it himself. She
yeah. Which
basically
is why
said,
he was asking.
"Yeah,
It's like hey, please, no, no, I'm good.
I can't do it."
Uh, I agree on a 7. I
Mhm.
think like I say, the vibes are immaculate in terms of
Yeah,
like the look and the feel of the show, but there's definitely an underlying tone of just ugh that I
yeah.
can't quite
Oh yeah, yeah. She's
I
really
can't quite
detached.
yeah. Yeah, it feels interesting.
But then you'll see in the next episode that there's potentially a reason for that. Do you notice the Pac-Man eyes?
No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Kino's got Pac-Man eyes. Like, well, not
Oh no, wait,
yellow.
I did, but not on Kino. In another episode,
Yeah,
not in this episode, but I did in another one because they
yeah,
were doing like more close-ups of the faces.
yeah,
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 they all have the pizza pie slice out of the black light.
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah, yeah,
totally. You're totally right.
yeah, yeah. They got
Pac-Man eyes, it is.
Pac-Man eyes. Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of that episode.
Yeah, and then we move on to what is officially the first episode, I guess.
Officially, the first episode.
Can I give the name of this because I feel like it's relevant to my point?
Uh huh.
Uh,
Yeah.
Episode 1, The Land of Visible Pain.
Yeah. That's right. Uh,
Yeah, it's
you
a
said
really
it was
upbeat
such a
show about life.
yeah, yeah. Have fun. So this one starts with the basically text appearing and saying, "The world is not beautiful." It's the
Yeah,
it's the intro text.
is
Uh,
is it at this point? Does it further that thought at this point, or is that further on in the episode?
that's the end of the episode. That's the
Okay,
conclusion.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, it sort of bookends it with this text, and the start one is yeah, the world is not beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, and we find Kino and Hermes looking for the new country, but the map they have is not
Oh no,
correct,
no.
or
So
is it?
you have a prelogue first, and they're actually in the desert.
Oh, that's right.
So she's traveling through the desert, and it's like water, water, and stops Hermes and runs over to like I assume it's potentially thought as a well, but turns out it was a grave, a tomb.
Yes.
And then she kind of camps out, and they have a conversation with Hermes, saying, "Oh, I think you're going to kind of like die here. Who's going to look after me?" type thing.
Yeah,
And it's like,
that's right. I'm very concerned about who's going to look after me once you're gone.
yeah, it's something like that. And then she says, "Oh, that's okay," because she's like lying under her tent sheath that she's put up, and with her feet hanging out because it's not quite on the ground because it's obviously way too hot. And it's nice
Yeah.
bleached outlook where it's like it's kind of like Lane again, in the sense where you said it was
Yeah.
like you had like lots of light and kind of like bleaching light out things. But this is obviously set in the desert, so it's like bleached out look, and it's just like fully kind of white and highlighting in white, but it's still got all the kind of detail and stuff. Just to
Yeah.
show you how horrendous it is, and the sandstorm, I think. Anyway, then she kind of stands up and goes, "I am lucky," and the rain clouds appear and start pissing it down.
Lucky indeed.
And then they start off looking for the
Yeah.
country and saying, "Oh, this
Sorry, you're
map's not
right.
right because there's a
Yeah.
big crevice in the ground, canyon."
Yeah. There's like it looks like it was supposed to be a bridge, but it's gone.
Yeah, and
And then the land just changes in front of them.
yeah. So they start traveling northerly because I think they see the country they want to go to
Yeah, they
from
can
this
see.
point.
She looks through the binoculars and it's there. So they're like, well,
Yeah,
we just need to get there now.
yeah. So then she goes another route, and then she just stops up and goes. Then it's just like then the land just parts again,
Mm-hmm.
but this time it's left a land bridge of sorts.
Yes, I do like the comment from Hermes though. It's like, hey, rather than us like traveling all over the place to find other places, why don't we just let the land change around us?
Yeah, yeah, and then I think she says, "Oh, that's not like traveling though, is it?"
Yeah, I'm not really a traveler then. There's definitely a lot about like an identity in this that I feel is comes to the forefront. There's this almost like again, like I'm reading this from nothing is the idea of like, oh, I'm a traveler. That's what
Mm.
I do. I travel.
Yeah,
Uh and this reluctance to not be a traveler, but I don't feel like it's a reluctance to not be a traveler. It's more of like an avoidance to become something else. That's what
yeah,
it feels like. It feels like I mean, you match that with the idea of the person who's traveling, basically maybe running from something, which again strikes me as maybe the route we're going here.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
Oh my god, Bike
oh,
is the ghost of her dead family member, isn't it?
oh, I could say that.
Oh my god,
That's not that.
it's it's not that. It's not. Oh, what game was it? Bionic Commando, where his arm is his dead wife. No, not that.
What? Bionic Commando is Zara's dead wife.
Yes.
Oh man, that's oh wow. What
Yeah. Play Bionic Commando.
what which one's that?
The I think it was the 360 one.
Is that the 3D one?
Yeah. It was the. Oh,
Is it the one
it
that
was the
was
one
not
that
very good?
came out 2009.
Okay.
It was developed by Grin. That's right. I forgot about Grin.
Grin.
Yeah, they did. Oh, what else did they do? They used to do the Tom Clancy games,
Alright.
and they did that Wanted game. You know the movie about bending bullets.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They did the game of that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um,
So yeah, not that. Anyway,
yeah.
continue.
Yeah, so they cross the bridge and they get to the checkpoint to get in to stop, and they find it's a automated checkpoint with a robot
Yeah.
going, "Hey, just answer these questions. These questions three." Sorry.
Answer me these questions 3.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically two passengers. Oh, don't forget about me. Oh, and Hermes. Don't forget about Hermes.
Don't forget me, Hermes.
Yeah. It's like, what? Okay. And
Yeah,
then,
she says it's like one human and one Hermes.
yeah. One
And
Hermes.
that maybe is like because it's a Hermes bike, but it did make me laugh because I heard it as like just and one Hermes, I guess, because that's his name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
uh, yeah. So they go in the country and then they get stopped by a robot. It basically gives
Mhm.
them the brochure, spits out a brochure at them.
There's definitely some. I wanted to say some like Professor Layton vibes
Hmm.
from this particular country.
Yeah,
I
the lot of
I don't know if you ever
robots.
played. Yeah, I
No.
don't know if you ever played the games. Like, it's not like because of the robots specifically, but more the kind of steampunkiness to the robots.
Yeah, yeah, they're quite steampunky robots. Uh,
Uh,
uh, she basically just stays there for she's 3 days. I'm staying here for 3 days.
yep, it's the longest you stay. Once I've stayed through 3 days, I need to go because then I might worry about staying longer.
Yeah, yeah, she does come up with that one in this episode. Yeah,
And I
um,
think that she goes and gets something to eat, which I thought was really interesting because if there's no people there, where did they
was
get food
food.
from?
Yeah,
Uh, and then she also like gets a nice hotel room, like this big mansion room, and she's like, are you sure this is how much this costs? Because if it's more than that, I can't afford it.
yeah, very much. Yeah, I think we blew our budget, Hermes.
Yeah, it is literally like a huge manse type bedroom with a four corner bed and
Yeah,
big
yeah,
bay windows and stuff. So
penthouse suite.
yep, pretty much.
Yeah. So and then she went goes to bed, gets up, and then she's like cleans her weapons in the middle of the night, and then does quick draw techniques with all her weapons.
then plays then plays draw against herself in the mirror
Yeah.
all night until the
Oh,
sun comes up.
yeah, yeah.
So she doesn't sleep,
She sleeps a bit.
does she?
She slept a bit.
I don't know if I've seen her sleep.
Just yeah. She sleeps in the next episode.
Hmm, maybe. I don't know.
Definitely goes to
Anyway,
the tent in the next episode. Anyway, so and then they start touring, and they're like, "Where the hell is all the people?" And then she's like, "Ah, I found the people." Because they're like, "Oh,
yeah,
this is a country with no people,"
yeah.
and then she sees like a dude in his garden, and then I think
A
another
woman in our
person.
driveway or something like that.
Yeah, and then they go back because that is like it's final day, but I'm going to go out to the this place.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was the forest or something.
Yeah, she should say. We should say that she makes the observation that there are people, but they don't seem to venture from their homes, and they all live on their own, or at least from the ones she's seen.
Yeah, yeah. And then so the next day she ventures out. I think Harry. This is the point when Harry's asked her about their 3 day thing. You don't want to stay longer? It's like no, I might want to settle down if I do that.
Yep. And then I wouldn't be a traveler, so I
Yeah,
can't do that.
can't do that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then so then she goes out to the forest, and the people see her. One guy just runs in the house. The other one kind of
Like
someone else runs
stares at her
away.
through the window.
Yeah, yeah. And then this other guy's trying to fix his hose, and then he goes, "Ah!" Runs around the corner, and then wait. It's like, can you read my mind? And he's like, no. Oh, oh, that's okay then. Cool.
He's like, I actually can't read your mind either. This
Yeah,
is fine.
that's fine. And that's then it turns out that they decide to create a concoction which let them read each other's minds.
As a
Instant.
society, they agreed that it would be better, for the betterment of the society, that understanding what everyone thought would be able to bring people closer together. Uh, and it did
Yeah,
for a time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And he basically says, "Oh, I found the love of my life," and she also was like, "Yeah, that's cool." Uh, and then they kind of lived together, and then they kind of, because they were reading each other's mind all the time, it kind of starts
Well,
hiding thoughts from each other.
she loved flowers and
Yeah,
he loved music,
yeah,
and he played her a song, and by her I think her thoughts on it, he never
yeah,
played it for her again, even though it was like it meant something to him.
mm,
He never did it again, and yeah, effectively they separated. They went their separate ways, and it
Yeah,
sounds like most other people have. He does even go as far to say, "It's like, there aren't any children really, so I guess we'll all be dead at some point."
yeah,
Like, oh, that's one way to think about it.
yeah. Because well, they talk about he also talks about like the downfall of society.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's showing riots and things happening, so they all kind of split up because they all have these thoughts. You can't really control your thoughts of people. You're not going to like everyone.
No,
So
they
reading
basically
everyone's
what women
thoughts.
want. They drank the what women want serum. You ever
So
watched that Mel Gibson movie? No,
uh no.
where he's like trying to. He has a female boss, and he's trying to get into her head of like figuring out like why he's not like things aren't working, and he tries to understand things from a woman's perspective. So he's like doing his nails and like having a face mask and like his hair tied up and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And then he slips in the bath and electrocutes himself with a shower with a hair dryer,
Uh-huh.
and that gives him the ability to hear what women think.
Okay, that sounds like something you shouldn't do.
You
Let's
shouldn't do
get
that.
shouldn't electrocute in baths. That's the way
Don't
out.
do that. That's the final bath bomb. Don't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But also, that movie is terrible, but great in equal measure, and I love it. It's really not great, but it's fantastic.
That sounds horrible. Anyway, so basically, she goes, "Oh, cool, thanks. I gotta go now," and leaves. And then he's like, "Oh, would you like to stay a bit longer? It doesn't really matter." It's just like says, "No, can't." She still thinks about it for a second, and they both kind of glance at each other, and she says, "No, I can't." And then she looks at the flowers, and they just kind of have this nod. They go, and ends it there. And then she drives by this house with, I think, the same music is playing that he liked to listen
Yep.
to.
And we notice, of course, that he has one of the things we noticed when Kino arrived was that he had this beautifully kept garden of flowers.
Yeah,
So a symbol of hope
yeah,
in an otherwise dreary world.
yeah. Well, what was the title of the thing called?
The land of visible pain.
Land of Visible Pain, and that's what he says. Well, this is the land of visible pain.
Yep. And
Uh,
well, the idea was is that if pain was visible, it would be easier to deal with.
yeah,
And it's not. It's not in that instance. It seems.
no, apparently not. So then she kind of like goes, "Oh, this must be that woman," and Hermes like, "Yeah," or Hermes goes, "That must be the woman," and she's like, "Yeah, it probably is." Drives on, and it rolls the end credits where it says, "The world's not beautiful, but therefore it is."
Yeah, the world is not beautiful, but maybe that's why it is, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's some philosopher's thought.
I mean, maybe
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
the world is not beautiful, therefore it is.
Yeah,
Uh, uh, Interestingly, I am finding
zero results.
Kino No Tabi
Maybe it's just that then. Um,
and the author of the light novel series. So
I
yeah,
was I
there
was
you go.
wrong. Deep thoughts, man. Um, yeah. So this one's also like was all about what if people could see, uh, feel each other's pain. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's potentially been covered in like what was that 60s,
The Twilight Zone,
the Twilight Zone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be covered in that or the one that came out in the 90s.
Outer Limits.
Outer Limits. Yeah,
Aren't you glad I'm here?
yeah, because I know you know those shows.
Yeah, I love those shows.
It's the weird stories that they have.
Sci-fi and horror anthology. Just hook it to my veins.
Stick it in my veins.
I yeah. This is nice. that there is a light in the darkness in this one, at the very least. And I guess there is a little bit in the last one, albeit I don't think it's a great light.
I think, like I say, these are essentially weird metaphors. I think uh,
Okay.
things. So there's potentially deeper thought in this. I could be just like making all this shit up, like a true artist. Uh,
Art away.
art away. But yeah, like this one's all about pain and how you can kind of manage it, and pain is visible, therefore it makes the world beautiful. You know, because it's
I
not beautiful
definitely,
because of conflict and shit.
I guess, like, to me, the read I get on it is like it's the absence of hope in some areas is like it feels hopeless, and it's like, well, actually it's not, because it's like, look, here's this couple who just could never be together, because the things they cared about
Hmm.
uh they weren't compatible. And then
Yeah,
the irony is that in the absence of that person, they came to care about those things because that person wasn't around to care about. It's like it's their way of keeping that person close,
yeah,
even though they're not.
yeah.
So there's nicety to it. Uh, I did love the scene when there was like a big crowd of people all going, "Ha ha! Drink the poison."
Yeah, pretty much.
That's like some serious Jonestown's vibe going on there.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
that's right. Drink the flavor aid. Everything's gonna be just fine.
yeah, just fine.
Oh boy.
And then I suppose the first one, Zero, was he may be part of Cog and Machine, but it doesn't always have to be exactly the same. Would be the vibe.
Yeah, it feels like it's the just because things are determined doesn't mean that you can't be an individual as part of that. Doesn't mean you can't be additive. Doesn't mean you can't bring part of you to the equation.
Yeah,
Um, and you could probably apply that to many things. I guess, like, more, to your life situation. It's like, you can still be you. And I take the sort of like the like I say the kind of underlying lessons, but it paints it creates them out of such bleakness and sadness.
yeah, yeah. There's
It's like,
us.
like this kid who's just trapped eternally trying to build a fucking tower, but actually he might not build it. He might just die because, I mean, and ultimately, here's the part we didn't talk about. What if that kid hadn't witnessed the tower falling? I
Oh,
just lived there building that tower and dying, not
what?
being an individual.
Yeah. Well, that's. I think that was the thing. It's like it may take a while for society to change. I don't know. Just it's like
Either way,
it's like the third. This is
well,
going
no,
kind of
no,
deep
no, we're
into the
not going to
third
talk about
episode.
that. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to rate this episode and we're going to get the fuck out of here. How do you feel about this one?
Again, the art and direction is on top. Uh,
Yeah.
the story is interesting,
Yeah.
even though it is bleak and depressing. It's interesting.
The thing is we've discussed this before, is like, I am sort of a misery vampire, so like I totally gel with this. But I think it's probably the first thing that, like, it's not a shocking misery.
Mm.
It's just a malaise. It is a sadness, and
Me-
that's
melancholy.
very different. Yeah, it is totally a melancholy, and to me, that is weirdly different.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
I don't
just
know why it's weirdly different. It shouldn't be. It's the same kind of thing, but yeah, that just has a slightly different impact.
yeah, yeah. It's more chilled out sadness. Like, yeah, this is gonna
Yeah,
be sad. Deal with it.
it's like the lo-fi beats of misery.
Yeah, yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Um, I still, I think it kind of holds up. So I would say 7.
Oh,
Right.
I would go as far as an 8 on this one.
Yeah.
There is something to this. And it is, I think the other thing I'm vibing on is the vignette kind of nature of it. It's like there is this underlying narrative, and this character is a person with a past and history, and there's
Oh.
something going on there that I'm assuming will be gradually revealed as we move along.
Well, yeah. Well, she does have a flashback when she got to the end of the path and she saw a bird flying up, and it was
Oh
like
yeah.
it cut to a text saying, "Oh, birds! I'm so jealous of birds. They can kind of go anywhere they want." And then she does like bring that up to Hermes as well.
Yes.
And she has a flashback of a face or bottom of a face.
There's something going on, and I like the fact that it's not the unraveling of that narrative is not the sole purpose of the show. It is given to you. It's given to you as you go along through something that isn't just the absolute pursuit of that knowledge. And I think
Yeah.
there's something really interesting about that. I like stories that have purpose. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that's one of the things that was good about Lane. We use that as like a comparison, particularly from the kind of feel. But it's the idea is that Lane itself, there was no end goal to that story.
No.
It,
Yeah.
it just went.
Was. Yeah.
It just kind of happened. Like, things happened and the story changed, but ultimately, like, I didn't feel like it was there's a goal at the end of this.
Yeah.
And I feel like the stuff we've tended to watch, I guess, like, more often than not, there seems to be like a little bit of a we need to get from here and to get to here, and we'll see how that happens. But there's a little bit of magic in that idea of like, oh, we're here. I don't know where we're going to go next, but you're probably going to find out more about this person or more about this situation, and it's definitely I think a really pleasant storytelling.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pleasant, man. I kind of like it. It's just I kind of like kind of shows that aren't really telling the story. Like
Yeah,
I
well,
know we're bigger
it's an
overall.
absent it's an absence of a story, though. I think that's
Yeah.
exactly it. It's not it's here's an experience that has happened and the situation, and you're going to find out some stuff about a story as a consequence of that.
Yeah, and also it kind of ties back into the melancholy of the thing because
Yeah.
it's a bit of a melancholy show to watch. It's just a show you can watch, chill out, and go. You don't have to go. Oh, don't do that, you stupid person, because
Nope.
that person's well going to like go and gank you. Oh, well, I'm saying that until
Yeah,
next
we'll
episode.
get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But the other thing is as well is that I want to mention I don't like the intro theme,
Mhm. You like it,
but
yeah?
I do like the outro.
Oh, you don't like the intro. You
I
like the
don't like
outro.
the intro, but I like the outro.
I might not listen to the outro.
Give it a listen.
Give it
But
a give it a listen.
give it a listen. Well, we've reached the end of our episode. A first episode of season 15. As always, you've been listening to Who's That Anime, an anime podcast about anime, which can be found anywhere where podcasts can be found. Our home is at anchor.fm/ Who's That Anime. And, like I said, you can pretty much find the podcast anywhere, Spotify, etc., etc., etc. We don't really like the idea of having ads on this show. We probably will never do that. But we obviously have some costs in doing this. So if you want to support us, we have a patreon.com/who's that anime, with a couple of different levels in there. One for just some support, and the others for like early access to episodes, which is also a good time to mention our other podcast, 5 Minute Fusion, which is a journey through everything Dragon Ball, which is pretty interesting. So
Yes,
yeah,
it
if you
is.
want to support us, that would be super cool. We obviously like another good way to support us is by telling friends if you like the show, leaving us reviews if you can. Also super cool. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/who's that anime, where we post latest episode releases and occasional memes. We have a YouTube channel where Colin painstakingly puts together the video versions of these episodes. But also, you can find the RSS feed for both this podcast and the podcast 5 Minute Fusion on YouTube as well, if you prefer to listen there. Colin and I occasionally like to play some video games. Colin at twitch.tv/couchfuel and myself at twitch.tv/hailpayman. And you can find archives of all those channels by going to youtube.com and searching for @couchfuel or @hailpayman.
Yeah.
Oh, I should mention as well, if you want to find us on YouTube, just search for Who's That Anime or youtube.com/@Who's That Anime.
Oh, there you go. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. That's new since they introduced the ats.
The ats? When did they introduce ats?
I don't know, but it was a mandatory change because they kept messaging me saying, "Oh, you're gonna need to do this. Choose your name."
Oh, yeah, that was a while back.
Yeah. But it works.
Yeah. Good. Good. It's good that works. So yeah, that's that. Going done.
Yeah. We'll be back.
Yeah. We'll be back next time. Where me and Steve will talk more about Kino Tabi. I just thinking it's a cat or something. The Tabi cat.
That Tabi cat. Kino No Tabi, or Kino's Journey.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that more. So catch you same eye time, same eye place, same anime journey through an anime.
I was sure you were just going to go same anime.
Hey. All right.
Bye, folks.
Bye.